Hello everybody, this is Llodg, and today I'm going to be ranking all the Smash games from my least favorite to my favorite. And before I get into the video, I want to say that I'm probably going to have a really wrong opinion. I already know that going in. And I want to say that this was very hard for me to actually write out the list and place them, other than a couple. Because I love these games so much, and I can honestly see me swapping them a lot. And after I upload this video, I'm probably going to want to switch them immediately, and before I actually get into the list, let me know how you would rank all the Smash games, because I want to hear what you think, and I'm sure your list is very different than mine. So with that, let's get into the first pick. Smash 64. It was the first Smash game, and honestly, I don't know if you're expecting a future one to be the worst. Yeah, this just doesn't have a lot of content, I think. But as a game that didn't even start as a Nintendo fighter, it started as a random character fighter, and then transformed into it being Nintendo mascots, I think this game is still really well polished. And there's a lot I really wouldn't have expected to be in this game. The whole one-player mode is really polished in my opinion. Every character has their own break the targets and board the platforms thing, to where it's they actually put effort into this and it wasn't super rushed. But still, that one player mode's getting it boring, and there's not a ton of stages, so playing with your friends can't really do anything for you, there's no event mode, no classic mode. I guess the one player mode's technically classic mode, but no all-star mode. There's just not a lot in this game that can let it stack up against the other games. I don't even think there's any trophies in this game, which is kind of weird. Still a pretty good game. I wish Nintendo would put it on the Nintendo 64 online, because I think it would be fun to play a little bit online with friends, but if you have another option for Smash games, I'm going to assume you're going to play one of the other ones. But yeah, still really good. I mean, the characters don't even have side Bs. And I think it was a pretty good cast of characters that they chose. You have Mario, Luigi, Link, Pikachu, Kirby, but then you also have some more lesser picks I would have expected, like Ness, Captain Falcon. Characters today that I think are very popular because of this game, and I'm not sure why Captain Falcon was chosen, but I know Ness was chosen just because of the people who are working on the game. But I'd ultimately love to see why they chose certain characters. And with that, let's get into the number 5 pick. 5! Smash for Wii U. I was really looking forward to this game. It was probably my most anticipated game from 2008 to 2014 when it eventually released, because I wanted another Smash game. And this was the first Smash game that I was kind of around to be a part of the hype, My first E3 that I watched was E3 2013, and I remember seeing the trailer for this game and being so excited. And I know me putting it at number 5 is probably why are you hyping this game up so much? Are you gonna hate it? But no, I can't hate this game. Would I go play it versus some of the other games? Maybe not. But this is still a really good Smash game. I mean, I even followed all the Miiverse posts Sakurai would post. Every day, I was there. I'd wake up early in the morning and check it. That's how I got into Pikmin, because he posted about Pikmin 3 and I was like, I'll play that game. So I was following this game very intensely, and I don't even want to say it was a disappointment, because I obviously can't say that with how much I played it eventually when it came out, but I do wish it was a bit better. There's no real story mode, which I'm a little disappointed by. There's not even an adventure type mode. There is still classic all-star mode, but I don't think classic mode's really good in this game. It's kind of weird where all the people are trophies around and you get to choose exactly where you're going. There's no break the targets, there's none of that stuff. It's very repetitive in a weird way, because I wouldn't expect it to be with you being able to choose which fights you get to go to, but they all just kind of blend together and feel like just fights. It doesn't feel as dramatic as some of the other classic modes, which I know may be weird because I think it still has kind of the same feel, but I think you being in that arena really just doesn't give you anything to latch onto as some of the other Smash games do. But yeah, All-Star mode's cool. I like that they present them as going backwards in time, and the first characters you fight are the newest characters that released or were introduced. So you'll fight Bayonetta, Rosalina, those characters first, and at the end you'll fight Pac-Man, Mario, stuff like that. And I think that's a really cool way to set it up. There is a reason that I'm putting this below another certain Smash game, and it's because of Smash Tour, which I think is not great. I don't remember playing it too much. I remember the one time I did play it, I kind of enjoyed it, I remember the one time that me and my friends were like, oh, we're gonna actually go in and play this mode to see how it is. It was fine. I liked the idea of it where you're getting Smash characters and then you can use them to fight, where it's like first you're Bayonetta, then you're Cloud. It's like a cool, interesting thing that I think should have just been its own mode, because it's like an actual fighting game where you get to switch characters mid-fight. But it's just not fun, especially in another game where I think it has a much better mode instead of this. I do like event mode in this game. I don't like the way it's presented, if that makes sense. I don't like this board. It just does not look good in my opinion. This is also the first game that introduced DLC characters. And the first round of DLC characters were characters that I didn't think we'd see in a Smash game again. It was Mewtwo, which I remember was a really hyped character. And then we got Roy, who was another character I think a lot of people really liked. But he was a clone of Marth, so it was kind of up in the air. Then we got Lucas, who I really love. And he's another clone, but he's still a bit different. And then we got characters that I really didn't think we'd ever see in a Smash game, we got Cloud. Then we also got Bayonetta as the last one. And I know at the time Bayonetta was chosen because apparently she was the top of the Smash ballot, but apparently that just wasn't true, and Banjo-Kazooie was or something. But yeah, this game also has a really weird case of clone characters, because I would almost think you wouldn't do clone characters because there's already a really good amount of newcomers with Mega Man, Pac-Man, Bowser Jr., Rosalina, Villager, someone I really wanted for a long time. But then they just add in clone characters like Lucina, who in Fire Emblem Awakening is masquerading as Marth, so she's a clone of Marth. He gets another clone, but this one's even more similar to him. And I love Lucina, but I just don't think she should have been a character in Smash, at least at this point. And we have Dark Pit. I love Dark Pit in Kid Icarus Uprising, but there's nothing to really make him unique. And we got someone like Palutena, who is an amazing choice, and I'm so happy she's here. But maybe if we didn't get those characters, we could have got someone else. Now I know that's wishful thinking, because obviously that probably wouldn't have happened. We just wouldn't have had those two characters. Maybe they should have just been skins for Marth and Pit, but it is what it is. There is one character that I'm really sad isn't in the Wii version, and it is Ice Climbers, and I've honestly kind of misremembered Ice Climbers being there, because I was kind of thinking, when I was playing through the games for this video, I was like, were Ice Climbers actually a part of this game? Or am I just misremembering as oh no, they thought they wouldn't be, but they couldn't. But no, Ice Climbers were not a part of this game, and that's because the Wii version is actually tied to the 3DS version, and the 3DS couldn't handle 8 Ice Climbers at the same time, so it had to be cut. And it makes me so sad that the Wii version suffered because of this, and it makes me think, what else did the Wii version suffer from? Because this game actually split up a bunch of characters like Samus and Zero Suit Samus, which is a good change in my opinion. And then also Zelda and Sheik, which I think is another good change. The Pokemon Trainer also just got chopped in thirds, and now you can only play as Charizard, which, disappointing. But Ice Climbers is the biggest disappointment for me, because I think some of the other characters kind of made sense. But yeah, despite that, I still really enjoyed this game. Me and my friends play this for hours. And now on to the next pick. 4. Smash for 3DS, the other half of the Wii U game, and the thing I think holding back both these games was this game. But I still enjoy it a bit more than the Wii U, even if I probably did end up playing it a little bit less than the Wii U, but we're not going to talk about that. I mean, this is the game I was really excited for, and I remember that Smash 4 trailer that I was talking about earlier. I remember seeing it, seeing the outlines, and being like, oh no, they're going to make the characters look so weird. And it was for Smash for 3DS, and I was so happy when they showed off how nice the characters look in the Wii U version. But I was under the assumption that this game would just look really bad with them, but I don't think it does. I think it actually looks pretty good, all things considering. Now, obviously this isn't going to be the prettiest Smash game in the world, it's for the 3DS. But playing a Smash on a handheld like the DS, which was at the time the only thing I knew when I was first playing Smash, but on a 3DS was like a dream come true. I mean, you could play it on the go. There's so many times I had to go with my family to a dinner, and I couldn't bring Smash with me, and I just wish I could. In this game, you can. It's the first Smash game that you can play 100% on the go, and it has none of the downsides you would really associate with a handheld. Like sure, the game doesn't look as nice, but it still runs really well. None of the characters are cut from the Wii U version, they have the exact same roster, which may be a good thing or bad thing. But yeah, they have Ice Climbers just not be in the 3DS version, so I kind of blame this version for the Wii U, but the Wii U totally could have just had Ice Climbers in there, but they didn't. But yeah, this has the exact same roster, so all the DLC characters, everything are also in this game. And I remember when this game was coming out, they released a demo to the public, and I played that demo so much. Nintendo DS demos had a weird thing where you could only play them for like a certain amount of time, so you could only play it like 30 times. And when I first got it, I thought it was fights. So I would be like, okay, I played one match as Mario. That's one time I can't play again. So I don't have to be able to play like 30 total fights. And I was kind of like planning it out from like, okay, I'm going to do Mario, Link, whatever. And then I'll have to be done. But then I remember closing it for the first time, and I expected there to be like 26 tries left, but it was actually 29, because I realized that the demo only counts down when you close the game. So there's an entire like 2 weeks leading up to Smash coming out for the 3DS officially. I don't think my DS turned off, because I had to play the new Smash game. And it was so much fun. And when the final game came out, I was so excited and happy with it. It has an amazing mode called Smash Run, which I wish was in the Wii version, though I think it would be kind of hard considering you're all on your own screen, and I think it kind of just works more to handhelds where everyone has to play on their own device. But Smash Mode is a genuinely fun mode, and it is very reminiscent of City Trial from Kirby Air Ride. And I think it works well, and I wish that this mode got like expanded upon, because I think it is pretty basic here, but still really fun mode. And yeah, I think that this game gets carried by the memories I have with it, and being able to play on the go. Because there's not a lot of modes here. There is still Classic Mode, which I think is a bit better version than the Wii U, because you get like only 3 choices and you're on kind of like a path, but it's still not amazing in my opinion, and it's where I feel like they kind of stumbled with Classic Mode. It's still there, you know? And they also have All-Star Mode, which is another mode that I'm really glad they brought back, and this is actually a little bit different from the Wii version by doing it in the reverse, where you play against the oldest characters first and the newest characters last. There isn't any other mode that you can play, there's no little adventure mode, there's no nothing that I think this game would have really benefited from. This game also doesn't have a story mode because Sakurai at the time, I believe, didn't want to make cutscenes just for them to get uploaded onto YouTube and stuff because it would quote unquote like ruin the surprise. They were like rewards for completing the story, which I kind of understand. So they used all that money that they would spend on cinematics, on the trailers, and the trailers do look amazing, but man, I wish there was like a story that used them. In either of these games, not having a real story mode I think really brings it down for me, because I love to play through a Smash story mode. I also enjoy the stages a lot more than in the Wii version. The Wii version in this game got their stages kind of chosen from home console games to handheld games, and for some reason the handheld games I guess just had better stages because those were more fun. And some really underappreciated stages, like the Pac-Man stage, the Mario Kart 7 stage where you're in space on Rainbow Road, another great mode. And there's a lot of brawl stages that I'd love to see in this game, so it was just like a win-win for me. I don't have too much to talk about here because most of it came from the last pick, obviously, but still a really great mode. I made a lot of friends playing this game on the bus to school, so I can't hate this game. Though I don't hate any of these games, I'll say that again. Now on to the number 3 pick.
3! Super Smash Brothers Melee!
Smash Brothers Melee. I know some people are going to be mad that this is at number 3 and not at number 2 or number 1. And again, trust me, I brought this game up when I replayed it because it was much better than I remembered against other games. But yeah, this game has a notoriously short development time. There's like less than 2 years or something, which is like crazy, because I don't think you can really tell when playing this game. The game is so polished, there's so many more new characters. Like they brought back all the characters from Smash 64 and brought on new ones. Though this is where clones did get introduced into Smash, though I guess Green Mario was the true first clone. But yeah, I really like all of these characters like Marth Roy really introducing the public to Fire Emblem. They add characters that are like no-brainers like Zelda, Ganondorf, Bowser, Peach. Characters that I think would have fit perfectly in the first game, so I'm really glad they're in this game. This is the game that also introduced like staples like Classic Mode, All-Star Mode, Event Mode. Like I said before, Event Mode is one of my favorite modes in the Smash games. And this one has such fun events, I think. Like there's one where you run across the F-Zero track, or there's one where you gotta fight off another bounty hunter for Bowser. Stuff like that, where it's just fun ideas that they throw into these matches to try to give it some story. And there's an adventure mode, which is kind of like a classic mode or like the one-player mode from 64. But it also just like has a lot of charm to it. Like there's sections that are from specific games, like you're running through a Mario level, or you have to go through like a weird temple with Redads from Zelda. And there's even an escape sequence from Metroid. Stuff that I wouldn't have expected to be in this game with how short the development time was. This game introduced like side B moves, and like from here on out, most of the characters, if they appear in a later game, kind of have the same moveset with some slight changes here and there. And honestly, from Smash 64, they have the same moveset, but here with side B moves being introduced, if you know the characters in this game, you know them in the future games, which I thought was important to bring up. And I will say this, I'm not like a high level player or anything, so I kind of will play anyone. And I do that in any of the Smash games, but that is one disappointing thing to me is how like unbalanced this game is compared to maybe some others where people play like just Fox or just Marth. Because I like it when people are able to play who they want to play truly, and not just who's good. And yeah, this game also introduced trophies, which I think is an amazing feature, because it lets you know more about the characters that you see in the game, and it kind of cements Smash as this like love of gaming where if you're in this game, you're kind of set up to be a really good game, or you a really cool character in games because you're in Smash. And with this, it kind of helps broaden their horizons a little bit and even give more characters the spotlight, even if they're not official characters in this game. This game also just felt like a huge step up from Smash 64 and like first like visually how it looks, and obviously from 64 to the GameCube there's going to be a jump, but just like even presentation, like the intro just feels so cinematic. You just feel like it's so much bigger than the last game. The last game was toys playing against each other. This game feels like actual characters fighting, and I just have to say I love the intro for this game so much. It is so good. I'm not the biggest fan of all the stages, like you obviously have great stages, but then there's also some like really weird stages like Venom on Star Fox, but I still kind of like it, and like Pokéfloats, which I wish would come back in a future game. And yeah, I mean, there's a reason this game's so beloved. And I wish Nintendo would like re-release it or like report it or something, because I do think it is an important game. And this was actually my first Smash game. I don't know, I can't remember if I played it or if I just watched it, but my cousins were playing it, and I just remember Pikachu winning and like sleeping on the results screen. This game's special, I think. It's so special that I didn't even necessarily like grow up with it. I had this game before Smash 4, but it wasn't like my childhood Smash game. Doing the glitch so you can play as Master Hand, even though you can only use them with the D-pad for some reason. But yeah, this game's special. I understand why this might be your top Smash game, but for me there's two more that I just love so much more. And now on to number 2.
2.
Smash Brothers Brawl. I know, this game's slow, you trip, but I don't care about that because I don't think it's as bad as you remember. Is it probably the second slowest Smash game? Sure, but I don't think that makes it bad. This is the first Smash game that I owned. I got it for Christmas one year, but I remember playing this game, and the only characters I knew were like Mario was probably the only series I knew at this point. Maybe Kirby. I think I knew Kirby and I guess Pokemon, obviously. Beyond that, I didn't know any of these characters. And this game really probably expanded my total love for gaming and learning about new series. Series that I may have not enjoyed if it wasn't for this game. And that's not to say as a kid I was actively going out and buying the new Fire Emblem, because let's be honest, I didn't do that. But this game has such a good selection of characters in my opinion. Though I have to say that this is the first game that cuts characters. This game cuts characters, and I wish it didn't. But they cut mostly clones, then they add in like another clone here and there, or two. But I think this game tried to do a bit better of a job, making the clones a little bit different, but it's hit or miss depending on who you ask, I think. But yeah, I also have like a lot of nostalgia for this art style. Now this art style isn't like my favorite of all the games. I enjoy all the art styles for what they are, you know, like I'm not going to be like, oh, Melee sucks. But I just have a lot of nostalgia for this, because I think it still like holds up in a weird way. Like Mario has like denim jeans, which is a little weird. But one of the trailers that really has stuck in my mind is where they kind of show off Melee versus Brawl. Now I watched this trailer within the game, I didn't see it on TV or anything, but that stuck in my mind where I was like, is that like an older Smash game? And then they look so much like better. You can argue that any Smash game looks better than this, and I would probably be like, alright, you're probably right. But I like how this game looks, and I think it looks really well in the best mode in any Smash game, and that is Subspace Emissary. What does that phrase mean? I don't know. But it was a great expansive adventure mode that took almost all the characters from the game and put them into the story, and had these great big CGI cinematic cutscenes that I think still hold up really well today. And now the story itself isn't anything like great, because none of the characters actually talk. It's a very visual story, but it's still really easy to follow along. But I don't think this game needed a dramatic story or anything. But they're still able to have like dramatic parts in it without anyone speaking. There's still parts where I think you can still feel like a little bit of emotions. Now the emotions like Wario shot a big arrow into Zelda or whatever. It's gonna get fixed all in the end, but you're still able to have some emotions. There's a lot of scenes in this game that have stuck in my mind, like Wario laughing at the NES trophy in the rain while Lucas is running away, which is a great scene, I think, for this type of like adventure mode. And there's also great scenes like obviously the Kirby using the dragon or whatever to slice through Ganondorf and Bowser's like big ship or whatever. Amazing scene. This might be like some of my favorite cutscenes in all of gaming, because they were able to bring in so many different characters and have them interact and be so cool. I think the actual gameplay for the mode isn't my favorite. It's kind of like a side-scroller type thing where you're able to easily defeat random enemies, and I don't even think most of the enemies are from a specific series. They're kind of made up for this thing, which is a little disappointing, but I kind of understand it. But the actual like going through it, I think is fun enough. Now replaying it and trying to get 100% may be a different story for you depending on how much you enjoy it, but I think generally it's a pretty good game to play. And you can do co-op, which I think is a really good idea. But yeah, the big downside is the maze at the end, where you're trying to like find everyone / get to the end, because it can be kind of confusing. This mode has some of my favorite memories in Smash games because of fights like Taboo, where you're trying to beat them and you can't, so you have your friend come over to help you beat them, and it is like you overcome like a mountain. Like as a kid, there's some tasks that feel like impossible to do in games, but once you are able to achieve them, you feel like the greatest player in the world, and it's like a memory that you can't ever remove. It's a core memory. And I think that's why this game's so beloved to me, because there's so many parts of this game that feel like a core memory. Like even like the sound effects where they're doing the bombs that like make the little black holes, I don't even know what they're called, but like that's stuck in my brain, like the little countdown. Oh, so good. The story mode also has like so many choices you can do, and the choices don't necessarily matter beyond like what character you want to be or who do you want to save, so you can be that character at this point rather than another character. Like, do you want to save Zelda or Peach? Stuff like that, where it makes the game feel a lot more intriguing because you have at least a little bit of choice and can kind of give the game a little bit of like replayability. I don't think it's like too big of replayability to where you want to play through the whole thing, but it's cool that they do have alternate cutscenes. But yeah, that's a huge talk about Subspace Emissary, and I may even do a separate video just on that mode because I love it so much. But that's kind of why Brawl's up here. They introduce stuff like Stage Builder in this game. I remember going and talking with friends and being like, oh man, who's your favorite character? Oh man, I like Marth. And I remember there was some friends who thought Marth was a girl, even though they clearly say Marth is a prince. But this also has some of my favorite newcomers. Like they have Toon Link, which is kind of a clone of Link. I can't defend him not being a clone, but I love Toon Link. And like Ike, which is one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters to play as. So strong, such a good, unique moveset. This game also introduced trophies, so you got to see characters like Lyn, and it really gave more of a credence for other characters at least being in the game beyond just being a trophy. They are actually in the game and helping you. And I will never forget fighting against Wolf, who was the last character I needed, and dying over and over again. And then the one time I was doing it, I was at the end of the rope, and I summoned Knuckle Joe, and Knuckle Joe got Wolf for me. So Knuckle Joe is a real one, and he's the reason I actually have all the characters in Brawl and Wii. The music is also some of my favorite music in gaming. Like, this is the first time I heard Live and Learn, and it has stuck with me for years. But it also had an amazing remix from, like, Gourmet Race with Kirby, where it's, like, more metal. And it is so good. I still love so many of the tracks, and they're just so good. Like, Final Destination, amazing track. And you wanna know the best track in Smash? The main theme for Brawl. It was composed by Nobuo Uematsu, the guy who did most of the Final Fantasy tracks, I think up to, like, 9. But he composed it, and it is so good. And I still think I can sing every word because it is ingrained in my head. I honestly don't know if they'll ever be able to top it. Like, if you hate Brawl, I don't think you can say a bad thing about this theme. This game is very nostalgic for me, so it may be unfair to put it so high, but I can't knock it. It has too many things I love. It has a classic mode that's good. Event mode returns, it's a great one. This is the first one I really went through and loved and kind of inspired my love for event modes, but it also has All-Star mode, which I was always really scared to do, but now I really like it now that I understand how to like dodge and everything. And now I think we're on to my number 1 pick.
1.
Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, what is there to say other than everyone's here? This is the biggest roster and probably the biggest Smash game that we may ever get. So many stages, so many characters, so much music, so much everything. It is really fun to play, and I think if we never got another Smash game, I think I'd be content to just play this one forever. Because this is the first time, at least personally speaking, that I think this game feels the most balanced. That's not to say we'd play Brawl and then everyone would pick Meta Knight, because that just doesn't happen around my friends. But from what I can tell, this feels like the game that I can pick up and play any character and feel almost fine, depending on how good I am at that character. And this is the game that I love just to like almost pick random, and then play as whoever they're going to give me, because I really love all the characters in this game. My favorites are probably Toon Link, Sephiroth, Joker, you know, characters you would have never expected to be in a Smash game. Yeah, Sephiroth, Joker, 2 amazing DLC picks. I so wish I had a recording of me reacting to the Game Awards where they announced Sephiroth as like a DLC character, because I knew that the instant One Winged Angel from Advent Children came on, I could have been one of the first to like be like, I know who this is.
この時を待ちわびたぞ。さあ、南東に絶望を送ってやろう。
This game does carry over the great cinematics for like DLC / new characters, but they're also just really good in this game, and I love them. They really feel like amazing parts of the hype. But yeah, there's amazing DLC characters, which I'm really glad about because there was not a lot of newcomers. Now, you kind of expect that when they're bringing back every single character from previous games. Characters I never thought I'd see again, like Snake. But yeah, the DLC really picked it up for me. They had so many amazing choices. I don't think there's any of them I dislike. I mean, they had Steve from Minecraft. Steve from Minecraft's a character that I wanted since I saw a Brawl mod that had Steve as like a costume for Link. I've been wanting that since like day one. I mean, they also had Banjo-Kazooie. So many great characters, I think, and that's just why I love this game. There's so many great, amazing characters. And the story mode, while it isn't as good as Subspace Emissary, I still really enjoyed it. It's basically event mode, the story, where it's just so long and there's so many different spirits, because instead of trophies, there are spirits in this game, which I also think is kind of a downgrade, but I'll talk about that a bit later. But it was like, you want to fight against this character? Oh, it's actually these characters, so-and-so. I think the event mode could have been a little bit different, you know, like it could have been a bit more exciting, but I still thought it was a great mode, and I love the few cutscenes that we got. I think they were pretty good. And yeah, I 100%ed World of Light, so I really did enjoy it. Would I replay it? Probably not. But yeah, I wish there was more cutscenes. I wish we got to see characters interact, but for like a mode that I could put on every day and play and unlock characters, it was so much fun. And yeah, spirits, they're like trophies if they are PNGs and didn't have much information about what games they came from, which I think was a really bad decision. Because Smash games are kind of like a collection of all of gaming history, and trophies were a great part of that where you could read about specific characters who weren't actually playable. But they got rid of it, but they do have a ton of spirits. They even add more after the game was kind of done, so I can't blame them. But we did get Sora in this game, so you know. But yeah, they also removed Classic mode and like All-Star mode, which is really disappointing to me. Yeah, that's why this list I think was so hard for me to make, because while I love Ultimate, there's still more that they could have done with this game and made it better. But then they also add stuff like the Sephiroth boss fight to unlock them a bit early. I can't knock them too hard. This game also has an amazing soundtrack, and it makes me wish that all the Smash games were on the My Nintendo Music app, because I would listen to them forever. But yeah, still carries over great music. Oh, I just remember this game actually gave us Pyra and Mythra as playable characters, which just makes me so happy. Because Smash 4 kind of introduced me to Shulk. I think I had watched Toga Conrad's Let's Play a little bit before that, but I didn't really play the game until like a year later. But that game introduced me to Shulk, so I was so excited that we're getting Pyra and Mythra in Ultimate, because I love Xenoblade 2. And seeing them was just so good again, you know? Like, after so long, you get to see these characters and be like, yes. Because this was before Xenoblade 3 came out. But it makes me hopeful that someday we'll get Elma, and then maybe we get, like, Mio or Noah or some other character from Xenoblade 3. But yeah, overall, I think this is a great Smash game. This is the Smash game you put on at a party for everyone to play. Because it's just so good. There's a character for literally everybody. This also introduced an actually good online system. Wii U and Brawl had it, but I just don't think it was as good as this game does, and this game's online isn't perfect. But I think it's still pretty good, because it lets me play with friends, even though we all kind of moved apart, you know, to where we're still connected by Smash Brothers. I guess I won't ramble on for too much, because I've kind of been rambling for a while. But yeah, I love Smash Brothers. I love it a lot, and I am really happy I made this video, because I got to play Smash games again. It gave me like a reason. Again, I could see this list changing so much. So let me know how you would rank all these Smash Brothers games. I'd love to hear your opinion. Tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me how I'm right. And also tell me what your first Smash game was, because I feel like your first Smash game may tell you how you rank these games. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day, and goodbye.